Cllr Arthur.
I just raise a small point about this. Obviously, I welcome the fact that Edinburgh does do this, takes the money from the revenue and capital budget and invests it in active transport. I think we can be proud of that. But it's taking a step back. It seems that money that's allocated to road investment in my ward is then sort of top sliced and you put in this active travel budget, which is fine, as I said. But the issue is that very little of that money seems to come back, well, none of it, if you look at the plot on page 117, actually come back and is invested in my ward. So I wonder, is there an argument that says perhaps a small proportion of it should be ring-fenced in the ward where the money originated and come back to actually encourage people to cycle more within, outside the central area of Edinburgh, which seems to be where most of the investment is. Bearing in mind that quite a lot of schools in my ward, there's no safe cycle route to school for children, and easier access to that money might be the way of delivering that.
The guiding plan to the investment of the funding is the Active Travel Action Plan. That was a plan that was developed and agreed in 2010. It's reviewed every 2 years. It will be substantially renewed in 2020. So the priorities and the guiding principles are contained in that plan. The major priorities is establishing an active travel network across the city, delivering that network, growing that network is relying on decisions that probably are broader than ward boundary decisions. We do take opportunity, though, to consult with locality and locality colleagues as to where localised improvements and benefits can be delivered as part of that programme. And also, there's close working with the schools. Each school has a travel plan associated with it in terms of access to the school, and we monitor the content of that and see how that best aligns. If there's any specific issues that you want to bring and discuss, happy to do so.
Yeah, but you understand the frustration, though. There's very little cycle infrastructure in southern Edinburgh, and particularly in my ward, and lots of money is getting spent, but there's nothing happening, really. And I think it's great to have this cycling infrastructure elsewhere, but the problem people in my ward have is connecting to it in a safe way. We cycled down to Pedlar and Parliament, and a group of people from my ward, and actually the route to find a safe route that's suitable for novice cyclists and children is torturous, wandering around all sorts of back streets, etc. So there is a real need, but it's just about how we prioritise that money, I guess, outside the central area. But I accept your point, there's no point.
The network we are delivering is a city-wide network. So, happy to meet with you, work through that network with you, and see how that sits within your ward.
That would be excellent, and it would be good if I could bring some people along with my ward as part of that discussion as well. Good, thank you.
I think we're straying into discussing ward issues here rather than the citywide policy that this paper represents, although I welcome Ewan's commitment to discussing those ward issues offline at the moment. Councillor Booth.
Thanks, Convener. I have to say I have a lot of sympathy with the position of Cllr Arthur. In my ward, it's very similar.